Thanks so much for your time. I am Pius Kojo Baka, and look now at our stories. A careful examination of the Bank of Ghana's audited report by the JoyNews Research Desk has discovered that the central bank spent a whopping 6 billion cedis on its employees in 6 years. Now, checks also revealed that the Apex Bank's personnel cost has risen by more than 170% in 6 years. Meanwhile, talking further, the 14th, the Agbogbo of the Asogli State has raised concerns about the salary of the staff of the Bank of Ghana. In a piece dated April 11, Togbe further said the BoG spent 1.62 billion cedis to its 2,203 employees. Now, our lead data and research analyst, Isaac Kofi joins me via Zoom for more on this. Thanks so much, Ike. And first off, tell us about what you discovered in your analysis of the Bank of Ghana's reports.
Right, File. So the research team, we've been looking at Bank of Ghana's financial statement, their audited statement, right, from 2017 to 2022. And we found some interesting revelation in there, and just like you captured in your intro. If you look at, as of 2022, Bank of Ghana's staff number, in terms of their staff plus their directors, we are talking about 2,215 workers that the Bank of Ghana has. Now, what has become the bone of contention has been the amount the bank spent on their personnel costs. So we've been doing that, how much BoG spends on their staff plus their directors. And if we looked at the data from 2017, so if you look at 2017, for instance, BoG spent 596.2 million Ghana cedis on that's the personnel cost, the amount they paid to their personnel in terms of remuneration. In 2016, this number now rises to 697.3 million Ghana cedis, then crossed to 809.8 million Ghana cedis. Then we have our first billion Ghana cedis in 2020 during the COVID, where BoG spent more than 1 billion Ghana cedis on personnel costs. And the following year, 2021, we looked at 1.26 billion Ghana cedis. And the current one, which is the 1.62 billion. So if you add all of them, you are looking at a figure close to 6 billion Ghana. That's 5.997 billion Ghana cedis. Now we decided to glean this for our viewers to know how much, for instance, they spend on their directors in the period under review, and how much, an interesting line item that we saw, which is BoG's electricity bills and water within this period under review. If you look at the amount spent on their directors from 2017 to 2022, we are looking at close to 27.5 million Ghana cedis in less than 7 years. We are talking about 6 years, a period of 6 years. They spent 27.5 million as directors' fees or remuneration. That's the period. Now, if you look at their water, electricity, and then conservation bill from 2017 to 2022, we are looking at 116 million Ghana cedis that BoG spent on water bills, electricity, and then on conservation.
And we know that Togbe Afede has also written extensively on this, and tell us what you've been hearing from that.
Well, let me go to Togbe Afede's should I say research paper, or his interesting piece that he put out on this subject matter. Now, quote, he says that it is difficult to believe that some BoG, here we are talking about Bank of Ghana's operating incomes and expenses, compare with that of Bank of England. So he goes straight forward to compare BoG's expenses, their income, to that of Bank of England. According to the report, BoG spent, just like we put out in our research, 1.62 billion Ghana cedis. To him, he sent it into, he converted it into pounds. He said that's about 147.2 million pounds on its 2,203 employees. Here, he did not add the directors of BoG. And he says that is 66,851 million thousand pounds that BoG paid its employees. He's looking at the average here compared to that of England. And he says that if you look at this amount, it is 38 times the per capita income of Ghana. So he's comparing how much the average amount that BoG paid their workers to the country's per capita income. And according to his findings, this is 38 times the country's per capita income. Now he says that Bank of England, on the other hand, with its average labor force of 4,695, and if you look at their 2021 to 2022 financial report, they paid their workers, some 448 million. That is equivalent of 95,820, thousand per every worker. And he compared it to their per capita income, and that's 2.6% of 2.6 times their per capita income. So unlike Ghana, where per his findings, the average that is paid to the Bank of Ghana workers is 38 times our per capita income. If you go to the Bank of England, the amount being paid is just 2.8 times.
All right, so Kofi, thank you very much. We shall monitor this developing space and, of course, bring up to speed to our viewers on the latest on this. Thanks so much, Kofi Eji. Now, to some other stories, the Bono East Regional Director of Health Services, Dr. Fred Adumako Boateng, has called for a collaborative approach towards tackling the stigma associated with mental disorders as a means of addressing mental health issues across the country. He made this call at a stakeholder meeting in Kintampo as part of the World Health Organization's special initiative aimed at addressing health conditions. More from Anas Sabit.
Launched in the year 2019, the WHO's Special Initiative for Mental Health aims at ensuring universal health coverage involving access to quality and affordable care for mental health, neurological and substance use conditions for 100 million people across the world. Dr. Levina Jima is the Technical Officer for Mental Health at the World Health Organization's country office here in Ghana.
The aim of this project globally is to make sure that 100 million more people have access to quality, affordable, person-centered mental health service.
She says up to 5.2 million persons across the country are expected to be part of this support.
For Ghana, our target is 5.2 million more Ghanaians, and this comprises the entire country. So to achieve this number, we selected predominantly the newly created regions on the basis of the fact that they need more support because they are now building their structures.
Bono East Regional Director of Health Services, Dr. Fred Adumako Boateng, bemoaned the stigma associated with people with mental health, adding that it goes a long way to undermine the fight against mental health.
We all know where we are coming from when it comes to mental health issues, especially if you look at the traditional words that we use for them. It's scary and it's stigmatizing. So, for example, when anybody is having these issues, look at the terms that we use. Bibi atuoso, na junumu kano, weyi.
In more news, the recent downpour in parts of the country has dealt a heavy blow to the infrastructure of the Anglo Senior High School in the Volta region. The school, already reeling under the inadequate infrastructure, was making use of a makeshift dining hall and a kitchen, but the massive wind accompanying the recent heavy rains has completely taken off the roofing of the key buildings on campus. Headmaster and students of the schools, as well as their MP, are calling for help. More in the following report.
The Anglo Senior High School has thousands of students are facing acute infrastructural challenges, with many of the buildings decades old and in dire need of urgent renovation. The recent rainfall has caused an even greater damage to the existing facilities, as headmaster of the school, Wisdom Kwame Adeti, tells the news team.
Currently, we have a windy rainstorm that has caused a lot of devastation to the structures I have in the school. Currently, my ICT lab, physics lab, agric, visual art, assembly shed, and other buildings have been ripped off. The most serious one is my kitchen. The kitchen and the temporary dining hall built for the school since 2012. For the fact that the actual dining hall being built for us since 2012 has not been completed. And when we had a rainstorm, the kitchen and the dining hall have been totally destroyed. As you speak, my kitchen staff cook under the vagaries of the weather.
The headmaster is appealing to government to complete an abandoned dining hall, which construction started in 2012.
The dining hall complex that is being built from the school since 2012 should be completed. The moment it's completed, we have a kitchen, apartment in it, store everything so that the kitchen women can move there and cook for my students. So that is a plea I would like to make. 2 dining hall, 2 girls' dormitory blocks have also been ripped off, and I've been able to roof it. Since we are in a rainy season, if I don't pay urgent attention to that, the students will be in the rain, which will not augur well for the school.
Students of the school are worst affected as they make most use of these facilities. Some prefects have been making an urgent appeal for help.
Our kitchen, and the last time we had a downpour, this is the situation right now. The kitchen is down, and our ICT lab, and our chemistry, the physics lab. Seriously, the rain has caused a lot of damages, and we are appealing to the government to come to our aid because the school authorities cannot do it alone. From roofing sheets down to furniture, everything, we need almost everything. When it comes to girls' hostel right now, we have new hostel, but we don't have washrooms. Right now, about 800 plus girls, boarders, are suffering from one pit. Because of this, some of our girls had to go out just to ease themselves.
Poor driving behavior is significantly contributing to air pollution. That's according to former Director of Air Quality at EPA and Managing Consultant of Enrofit, an environmental consultancy firm, Emmanuel Apo. He says poor driving patterns produce particulate matter, tiny particles from parts of vehicles that pollute the air. These particles, he says, are very harmful when inhaled and linked to diseases like hypertension, asthma, lung cancer, and cardiovascular morbidity. Now, on the sidelines of a stakeholder workshop to identify challenges to the enforcement of urban roads regulations in Takoradi, Mr. Apo explained that wear and tear produced almost 2,000 times more particle pollution.
Attitudes on the roads are very bad. People tend to drive anyhow. People drive without valid licenses, and you tend to have a lot of emissions. You know, if you don't drive well, a lot of emissions, vehicular maintenance challenges also there because of funding. People buy vehicles but don't have the money to maintain them very well. You have plumes of smoke coming out of that. And also you have wear and tear from vehicles that are not maintained very well. Especially if you have your brake shoes that have to be changed and you have a standard one, then people will just go in for the very old ones, the big trucks, so that will cut and then paste on the brake shoes and then using them. All these things tend to emit a lot of. They are very challenging and they go against the road traffic regulations that we have.
The Asante-Hene Otumfuo II has cautioned government and political actors to stay vigilant against activities that may disrupt the fairness of the 2024 general elections. According to the Asante-Hene, the country's past experiences with elections must be a lesson to continue upholding the peace and stability devoid of violence. While making his 25th anniversary celebration, the Asante-Hene served notice to stakeholders to safeguard the integrity of electoral process.
Is another election year. Our political leaders are already on the campaign trail, and there's yet many months of intense and combative campaigning ahead. After all our past experiences, I remain sanguine that our democracy is safe. Nonetheless, we need to remind ourselves that we cannot take things for granted, and we must be alert to avoid anything that has the potential to derail the electoral process. So people need the right environment in which they can make informed choices in the interest of the nation. May we forever drink from the fountain of peace, and may our efforts in the years ahead be crowned with the grace of the living God and the prosperity that flows from our tireless effort.
Meanwhile, President Akufo-Addo has expressed gratitude to the Asante-Hene for his contribution to the socio-economic development of the country since his installment as king.
Otumfuo's commitment to the welfare of his people, coupled with his strong leadership, has earned him the respect and admiration of all. Under his reign, his dedication to improving the lives of his subjects and preserving the rich cultural heritage of Asante has been truly commendable, helping to ensure access to education for thousands and thousands of young Ghanaian children through the Otumfuo Education Fund, joining the fight against the spread of HIV and AIDS, re-energizing and modernizing the institution of chieftaincy, and putting an end to unnecessary chieftaincy disputes within Asante Mine are but a few of his many achievements and successes as Asante Hene. But perhaps what sets Otumfuo Seitu II apart is his tireless advocacy for peace, reconciliation, and national cohesion. In a world fraught with division and discord, Otumfuo has been a steadfast voice for unity and understanding, both within Asante Mine and beyond.
You're still watching JoyNews Prime. More after this break. Hello, welcome back to JoyNews Prime. GHS says it is committed to fostering meaningful connections and spread joy among families and communities. GHS celebrated mothers at a special event to commemorate Mother's Day at the Den Makers House Chapel in Accra. There is more in this report.
Under the auspices of its mother brand, Unilever Ghana, Geisha, the renowned personal care brand, joined the rest of the world in celebrating mothers for their tireless service to their families and the larger community. Mothers deserve happiness, and this theme formed the bedrock of Geisha's efforts to make mothers feel special on what is a special day across the world. Brand marketing manager Derek Bossman shared with media the reason the company embarked on this initiative.
Happens to be Mother's Day, and we all know that in an African home and globally, mothers play a very crucial role in families. So what we try to do each and every year is to go to social places where we can find a lot of mothers and help celebrate with them. You know, for Geisha, we believe that we are a strong soap that has long-lasting care. And a better way to show people about long-lasting care is by our mantra, which we say, Ola Stama. So today we are here at the Makers Chapel, located at Atomic. We are here to celebrate mothers. This is part of Geisha's purpose. You know, at Unilever, we believe that brands with purpose grow. And at Geisha, we believe that mothers play a very crucial role in today's world and in today's society. We believe that our soap is a strong soap that has long-lasting care, hence our tagline, Olastama. And a better way to depict our brand mantra, Olastama, is to tell people about the kind of love that a mother has for the child. Whether it's a 70-year-old or a 6-year-old, a mother's love for a child is still the same and it lasts long. So on Friday, we were with our influencer and ambassador Gifty Auntie to help donate to newborn mothers at the Tema General Hospital. We gave about 20 hampers, and then later in the afternoon, we went all the way to Tamale to celebrate with the mothers, the Muslim mothers there as well, at the Alpha Jura Mosque in Tamale. Then today on Sunday here, we are here at the Makers House Chapel to help celebrate mothers. It's a great opportunity to tell our mothers that we appreciate them, we care for them, and as usual, the love that we have for them and the love they have for us is long-lasting, just like Geisha or Lastama.
Geisha generously distributed giveaways of their premium products, symbolizing not only the brand's commitment to quality, but also dedication to nurturing relationships within the community. Adding to the festivities were an array of delightful side attractions, including photography sessions where mothers and their loved ones could preserve the special day for years to come. Some mothers shared with us their thoughts about the day and expressed heartfelt appreciation for the thoughtful gesture extended by Geisha and Unilever Ghana.
Mothers are supposed to be celebrated because we give our all. I'm not a mother yet, but I see my mother go through a lot. struggle to take care of all of us. So I think that mothers are worthy to be celebrated. And we are so glad that Unilever and Geisha decided to surprise us at the Maker's House. We are so grateful for what you've done. And we pray you continue to do this every year.
I think it's a very thoughtful initiative for bringing Geisha to the church and for telling us how coming to wish mothers a happy Mother's Day, because mothers are the users and the buyers of Geisha soup, and it's a household name. So I believe that it's a good initiative, and we'll continue to patronize Geisha.
I'm so elated about what Geisha has done. I've never experienced this before. I feel so proud to be a mother, and motherhood has been a very stressful, although enjoyable situation. But today I feel very proud. I feel very happy to be a mother. Thank you so much, Geisha. I'm proud of you.
And it was a joyous time at the maternity unit of the Komfanoti Teaching Hospital as new mothers were celebrated by a Life So brand of Walmart Africa as the world marked Mother's Day. Under its Mami Mo campaign, the company made special donation to some personnel and home care gifts, including soap and toiletries. The gesture was to celebrate the efforts and pains mothers endure both at birth and the upbringing of their offspring, as the company commits to providing quality home care products. More in this report.
Motherhood is not only a title but comes bearing responsibilities on all females ushered into this part of life cycle. From protecting their offsprings and ensuring their proper upbringing, the responsibility of mothers is uniquely defined and appreciated in society. Lucy Asari shares her experience as a mother.
Being a mother is very great, and when the moment you give birth, like you feel like different in women, and being single without a mother, like you see yourself as, oh, you are okay, but the moment you had a baby, like you now have a responsibilities to like carry. You'll be breastfeeding, when growing up to, you'll be doing different things that you being single, like you won't feel being single again. It's very great. It's very nice to be a mother.
In celebrating their efforts and determination to cater for their family, Walmart Africa's A-Life Soup brand made donations to the maternity unit of the Komfanoti Teaching Hospital. Under its Mami Mo campaign, the company handed some souvenirs including toiletries, personal and home care items to the mothers. Senior midwife at the maternity unit of Kath, Gifty Salom, explains the gesture came at the opportune time as some mothers struggle to purchase them.
Sometimes the mothers that come here are really mothers in need. They really need help in terms of toiletries, in terms of soap, detergent to wash their baby's scotch sheets, to even cater for their personal hygiene. But sometimes they don't have any help from anywhere, and sometimes you have to go out of our way to personally help them as nurses or as a unit.
Thanks so much for being part of JoyNews Prime. I am Pius Kojo Baka. For more stories, do log on to myjoyonline.com. Have a good evening.